There's my broken grill. I like to walk in the morning after I'm ready to go for the day. I like to walk outside and just see what's going on. See the flowers. Hedda is right beneath me here. She really wants pets, so we'll give her some pets. She's a good girl. So this bed right off my deck, we've got some Siberian iris that's starting to set out some flower buds, those little red things there. This wisteria vine that grows up on my deck. It's always kind of a late starter, so it's just starting to fill out a little bit. And that bike that's in there, I rode that for a few years when my kids were small, and it's just very old and kind of broken beyond repair, so I decided to let my vine just grow into it, so it's part of the landscape now. This is the public bath, a chicken bath that they have dug for themselves, so this flower bed is always kind of a mess, but it fills in pretty good. It's got a lot of wildflowers in it. Lots of green. Everything's coming up nice and tall here. We've got some sedum in here in the darker purple with all the green. That's pretty. I'll go on the other side of this garden. The irises are really, really blooming right now. You can see this whole bed just looks like solid irises right now. These irises originally, my mom, when her grandma died, my great-grandma, she lived up in Upper Michigan, which we call the UP around here. My mom went to her grandma's house and dug up a few, and she's kind of shared them with everybody. And I have too, so they're all over the place. So great-grandma's irises are everywhere. Now these dead sticks, this is Queen of the Prairie. These are really cool plants. They get very tall. They get a really big pink, looks like cotton candy. Oh, thank you, Hedda. Looks like cotton candy bloom on the top. I'm trying to show you this one plant that I think is dead, but Hedda will not let me. Now these dead sticks here, this plant, oh, there is one little sprout. Oh, thank goodness. I thought that this winter killed it. We had a really harsh winter, and a lot of my plants are not doing very well. Now this plant is super cool. It looks like a hibiscus. It gets these dinner plate sized blooms on it, and the color that I chose is called Strawberry Cheesecake. I really hope it sets out some blooms so I can show them to you. It's just so cool. Then we have some lupine. These are native to this part of Wisconsin. They grow along the ditch lines. They come in several different colors, but I just have the purple. And then these little guys, I can't think of their name right now. They're blooming, pretty pink. And then some yellow irises. Those are also from my great-grandma's house. I don't have as many of those for some reason. I have a lot of the purple and white, but not as many of the yellow. They're so pretty. Catmint blooming. Our chives are blooming. Chives, of course, you can eat, but I like them in the garden because they put out these purple blooms and they're so pretty and easy to care for. Now this very dead-looking tree is a purple smoke bush, and unfortunately, it's very tall, very, very tall. Unfortunately, this winter with our super cold weather, and we didn't have enough snow when we got the cold, killed a lot of plants. So this one is just growing back from the bottom, as you can see. So it's definitely not going to bloom this year because the top of it only blooms on old growth, and the top of it is dead. So it's just blooming, or it's just growing back from the roots, and we got to start over. So I'm going to have to cut these old dead pieces and just let it come back. We're just walking through, and then this bush, and this bush was supposed to be a forsythia, which puts out yellow blooms in the spring, but it is not. I think it's some, I'm not really sure what it is. It gets little tiny white blooms on it. It's still pretty. Now this bed is mostly summer bloomers, so they're coming up here. We do have some false indigo blooming in the back. This thing's just coming up. Lots of yellow irises in this bed. This is where I mostly have lilies. They're my favorite. Lots of bare spots in here. The chickens kind of did a number on this bed last year. I kind of have irises everywhere. They're so easy to grow and they multiply so quickly. Here's some more of that Queen of the Prairie. This one is a little further along. It's just starting to set out a little bud there. They're really a cool plant. They are kind of invasive. They take over a bit, so you have to put them in a place that you don't mind that they just go crazy. There's some free-range chickens. Out looking for bugs. Now this is my vegetable garden space, and as you can see, I have not planted it this year. I kind of made a decision not to do it this year. I'm probably going to regret that because I won't have all my veggies to can and preserve, but chickens, I'm letting the chickens work it a little bit, and I'll be adding some mulch and probably some compost. Last summer I went through a major depressive episode, and I had planted my vegetable garden, and then I went through the depressive episode, and then I really get overwhelmed with everything, and I couldn't be as dedicated to it as I needed to, so I let it go and things went really bad, and that kind of made me feel worse. So this year I decided I would take a break. I have a lot of projects that needed to be done last summer that didn't get done, and so I decided this year I would get those projects done instead of planting vegetables, and I'll probably regret that, but we'll see. Now these here are parsnips, and I forgot to dig them up, obviously, because they came back this year, and I did find out that they do come back, and they're going to set blooms here. Now the cool thing about parsnips is that they will come back the next year if you don't dig them all up, and they set these blooms, and they're really good for attracting pollinators, and they also attract a certain kind of bug, and right now I can't think of the name of it, but a certain kind of bug that eats or is a predator to aphids. So if you have roses or issues with aphids, if you plant a few parsnips by it, they will attract those certain kind of bugs and then help you control your aphids. So I just let them grow. They're pretty. Sometimes I put them in by my flowers. But yeah, here's my garden space. It's looking totally wild. I do sheet mulch, so there's a lot of, cardboard broken down. I can hear Hedda barking at something. I might have to go check out what's going on. Oh, here's Chico. I guess he wanted to say hi today. I'm not sure what Hedda was barking at. She is our farm guardian. She's not a typical livestock guardian dog. She's just a mixed breed dog that I got, and she patrols for us, and she keeps our chickens safe, and she keeps little Chico safe. Her and Chico are good buddies. So sometimes she's standing, she was at our back property line, and she was barking and barking. I didn't figure out what she was barking at, but that was definitely her protective bark, so something was trying to get in. She's been doing a really good job. Let's see. Oh, Hedda, you're a good girl. Yes, you are. Yeah, she's a really, really sweet girl, and she keeps us safe. Have a good day, guys.